Welcome to the Art Cart Mobile Art Studio. This month, we are going to be celebrating several different winter holidays. And we're going to start today with the story, Schmelf, the Hanukkah Elf. And we are going to make this adorable reindeer menorah. So let's get started. What you will need to do today's art project is a piece of brown construction paper, some scrap construction paper in orange or yellow, could even be red for the flames, any color candles that you would like to put on your menorah. In my first sample, I did yellow and blue, and this one I think I'm going to do light blue and dark blue, but I've seen candles in every color of the rainbow. I chose a white to make my candle that's right in the middle stand out from the other candles, and that's explained to you a little bit in the story. You can either use black and white crayon or black and white pastel. I'm going to use the pastel today because they show up a little darker on film, but if you're going to be working with younger students, the pastels do smear, so it may be better for you to use the crayons. My original sample was done in crayon, so it works just as well. Pencil and an eraser, especially for those that like to get everything just right before they outline in black. Some glue, a glue stick or white school glue is just fine, and a pair of scissors. All right, so we're going to start with our drawing. Move all this stuff out of the way. All right. And the first thing that I'm going to draw, make sure you can see my whole paper, is the shape of our deer's head. And deers almost have a triangle shaped head. So that's what I'm going to do, is kind of make a rounded triangle. Now I need to leave lots of space for the candles and the antlers up at the top. So I'm going to start around the middle of my paper to draw that first line, kind of right in the middle. Then I'm going to go round and down and round and down, kind of round that end off too. All right, doesn't have to be perfect because deers are part of nature and nature is never perfect. Then I'm going to create his face. I'm going to start by giving him a nose, which is kind of a teardrop shape. And I'm going to color that in with my black. And I'm going to give him two round eyes. Now I want to put a little of a highlight in his eyes. So I'm going to draw a small box in the corner. It doesn't matter where you draw the box, just be sure that you put it in the same place on both eyes. If you're working with little people, don't worry about the box, just color in the eyes black. Alrighty, then I'm going to draw a curved line that goes from the right side at the top of his head, around the eye, down to the right side next to his nose, and do the same thing on the left side trying to keep them as symmetrical as possible. But again, we're talking nature, so if it's not that big of a deal. All right, so now I'm going to give our reindeer some ears, and they go out in curved lines, kind of like a leaf, where they're pointed out to the side. Again, I'm trying to keep these about the same size. All right, and then I'm even going to put a little inner ear section. There we go, just like that. Now, you may feel the desire to add some little bang fur on your reindeer, and this can be black or white, or you can even use a darker or lighter brown if you want to add some brown color to your deer. All right, there you go. And then comes, oh, his neck. Let's get his neck on there. And he just has a pretty thin neck. If you want to add jingle bells to his neck or something, you can go right ahead and do that. But now we're going to do the most important part, which are these antlers. And they are important because that's what's going to hold our candles. Now, a menorah has 8 candles and the lighting candle in the middle. All right, so every night this candle in the middle gets lit, and then it lights 1 candle a night. The second night of Hanukkah, there's a new middle candle, and it lights 2 candles for Hanukkah. And every night they let the candles burn all the way down and put in a brand new candle for the next day of Hanukkah. So if you would like to add your candles or just your flames one night at a time to celebrate like they celebrate Hanukkah, or if you're celebrating Hanukkah yourself, that sounds like a fun idea. Or you can just light them all at once. Totally up to you. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with the bottom of our antler, and we are going to go from the middle of our reindeer's head, and we're going to curve up and go out as far as we can. This will make it easier for you to fit all of the candles. Now, reindeer antlers go more upward than they do go sideways, but for the purpose of making our menorah, we need to go kind of sideways. So here I go. I'm going to try to make this symmetrical. Yep, there we go. Looks pretty good. And then when we make the top, we're going to come back here to the middle. And we're just going to kind of make jagged edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And we want 4 points because this is where we're going to put the 4 candles on each side. And then right smack in the middle is where we're going to put that special candle that's used to light all the other ones. All right, so making this as symmetrical as possible again. I'm going to go up and do 1, 2, 3, and I take the 4th one out to the edge. All right, so there are our antlers. Now, I'm going to add a little white to my reindeer, putting some white in his ears. You could do white for the little hair on his head, add some white in there. And I gotta clean off my pastel because now it has black on it. And I'm just gonna add some white in those kind of half circles on his face. And in that little square on his eye. So as you can see, the white pastel shows up much better on the brown paper than the white crayon. But like I said before, these do smear and they will kind of get all over the place if you got little ones that don't know how to be careful of not putting their hand right over the top of their artwork. Tracing carefully around the eye so I can keep it black. Put in my little highlight area and finish coloring it in. And with the oil pastels, you can purposely smoosh it around with either your finger or a paper towel if you want to. And that kind of just puts the color down deeper into the paper. And then you could color over the top, and it kind of takes away some of that brown that soaks in, or that, pops up through because of the texture of the construction paper. But all of these things are not necessary. If you were just looking for a fun project, you don't have to take all these extra steps. So I was just trying to make his white part stand out as dark as possible, just to show you things that you can do. All right, so there is my adorable reindeer, if I have to say so myself. And now I'm going to make my candles. So what I did is I cut 1/2-inch strips out of my construction paper colors that I wanted to use. And now I have to decide what size I want my candles to be, because I don't want them to go too far off the page, although it's okay if they go off a little bit. And I have two dark blues and 2 light blues here. So I'm just going to fold it once, chop off the extra, and cut these in half so that everything is the same size. Now, like I said before, you can either save these until the first day of Hanukkah and then put one up each day, or you can put them all on at the same time. I'm going to take my white piece and I'm going to make that one about the same size as the others. Although sometimes it seems like that one is depicted as being a little taller. So however you get it on there, you get it on there. And now is when I'm going to start gluing on my candles, because I'm going to put them on ahead of time. And if you want to, you could put all of yours on ahead of time and then just put the flame on day by day. So there's my first candle. And then Hanukkah lasts 8 days. So I am going to put up my 8 candles and see how I put them right on the end of the antler in those spaces. Now I need to remember not to put glue all the way to the tippy top, because when I glue mine on, they're going off the edge of the paper. And I just felt like doing mine in a pattern. You could do all your candles the same color. That's perfectly fine too. Alrighty, there's my first 4 candles. Oh, I'm losing my glue. It's coming to the end. So here we go. Another one. Ta-da! Number 7. And number 8. All right. Now to do the flames, I have a chunk of orange construction paper. I grabbed it out of my scrap box. If you have a scrap box, that's a fantastic idea. And I need 9 of these flames. So I'm going to try to fold my paper and get 9 or 10 little flames out of it. All right, so I just folded it and folded it. Now, you can make each of these flames individually. That's fine too. I just like to save time and do them all at once. So you can even make one and then trace all the rest of them, however you want to do it. And basically with your flame, it's going to be kind of like a teardrop, but it's going to curve a little bit at the top, and that makes the flame look like it's flickering. So I'm going to go round around the bottom, and then I'm going to go up and kind of make it like a S. See that? And I'm going to go back around, and this time I'm just going to go straight down. All right? Looks like a little paisley. Now I'm going to cut it out. Now, if you're cutting them all out at once, you may need to use a good adult pair of scissors, because I don't know the children's scissors if they'll cut that many pieces of construction paper at the same time, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. And go all the way around. Alrighty, and now I have my flames, and they're going to go at the top of each of my candles. And I'm just going to randomly put some forward and some backward. I don't even think I have enough. Am I one short? I'm one short. That's okay, because I always have more scraps lying around. And if I want to make sure it's exactly the same, this is what you guys can do too, is just make your first one and then trace around it so that you have 9. Alrighty. Then I can cut out my 9th one. Now, the flicker of candles aren't always the same, so they don't even have to be the same. Fire's part of nature, right? So there is no perfect flame. So it doesn't matter what your flame looks like. And rid of that. So they don't have to all be the same either. You could just freehand draw all of them differently. Alrighty. Turn that one over that way. And then I'm just going to take my glue and glue them on. So I'm going to do mine all at the same time so that you can see the final project all finished. Remind the kids when they're putting the glue on their flames, they don't have to cover the whole flame with glue, just a little bit at the end. Otherwise, they'll all stick to your table. Which a little bit of sticking is normal. You could clean that up. But we don't want the whole thing to stick there because then it might rip when we try to take it out and hang it up. Alrighty. There we go. If you want to add a little more color to your flame, you could throw in some squiggly red lines or yellow lines or orange lines. Just anything that's kind of fire color. I don't know if you can see that very much. You can see it better in real life than on the video. All right, so there you go. There is your reindeer menorah. I hope you enjoyed this art project. Happy Hanukkah if you are celebrating this year. And if you're not, if you're new to the holiday of Hanukkah, I hope that you learned something new today. Have a great holiday season. Bye.